Oh, come on, like you didn't expect an introduction like that. Am I right? I mean, my last two videos alone have had some pretty ridiculous beginnings. I mean, I dangled my ring in front of you, I danced to Cool in the Gang. You know, I've done some crazy introductions, but would you expect anything less from me? Well, in any event, my name is Tony Taylor. This is all about me, motivation, innovation, and inspiration for you and you and you and you and you, and especially you. If you are a brand new viewer, a special welcome goes to you. Now, if you recall, my last two videos have been kind of honed in on messages with personal things, which all my messages usually are. It's God speaking through me, not the work I do for Him, but it is all about Him at the end of each message. Now, today's message, based off what I just said about not expecting an introduction like that, my title has expecting in it. So, any guesses on what this is about? No. Oh boy. Oh boy. You're getting ahead of yourselves. It is not an announcement that Gina and I are expecting. No, that's definitely not it. You're slow your roll. You're doing 90 and a 30. Calm down. No, it's not it. Sorry. I just thought many of you just jumped the gun and were like, oh, I can't wait to hear it. It's not the announcement. Today is all about expectations. Expectations are something we're faced with in every piece of our lives. Am I right? Relationships have expectations. Jobs have expectations. We individually have expectations. And when I get through, by the end of this message, you'll see how some of our expectations are completely wrong, and we need to reevaluate our expectations. Now, okay, I'll start with a base example of an expectation that we're all get faced with. So say you're flipping through channels, you're watching TV, you're trying to figure out what's on, and you come across a fast food ad. It's usually fast food that draws a lot of people in, I guess. And you see a big, juicy burger, lettuce, pickles, tomatoes, the works, everything. The bun is glistening. It looks so delicious. So your expectation is, when I go there, that burger is going to be so good. So either A, you go right away, or B, you say, I'm going to try that someday. So in the event that you go through the drive-thru, you get the burger, what usually happens? The packaging is kind of half folded. The burger bun is kind of half off the patty. Tomatoes falling off. Or ketchup is over here. There's no pickle on it like the commercial said. You've been totally suckered in. Your money's been taken, but your expectation hasn't been met because it's not what it looked like on TV. It happens a lot, you know, with any things like that. Whether it's an as seen on TV thing, oh, that looks awesome. I need to order that right now because they make it look so cool. They give you all the goods, and then when you get the goods, it's not so good. Here's another example. I'm going to stay on the food tangent for a second. Chipotle. Another, what people would consider fast food, I suppose. Fast food chain, company, whatever way you want to word it. Fast food. The commercials they do never show their burritos being made, never show their tacos being made, but they talk about the ingredients they use some animation, they just talk about, you know, the meat they put in it, generally. I never really ever have seen the burrito. So, when I go into Chipotle, I don't have any expectation of what I'm going to get because all I'm seeing on the commercial is just what they're putting into it. So, rest assured, when I get my Chipotle, whether it's a burrito bowl, burrito, tacos, you name it, I'm going to be fulfilled. My belly is full. It's a guaranteed yum yum in the tum tum. It's worth every penny. It exceeds my expectations. Every dollar. Yes, I know guac is extra. Thank you, Chipotle, for constantly reminding me that. I just want a shirt that says, yes, I know the guac is extra. Put it on there. I digress, though. But you know, see what I'm saying? When we don't see anything at Chipotle for their commercials, but we go and it's absolutely delicious and it exceeds our expectations, but when we see something, actually physically see something on TV and hope it's the same in person, and it's not, our expectations are lost. So, I'm going to give another tangent of another form of entertainment. So TV and movies, so previews of any movie or TV show is always, again, the goods. You see all the stuff that you're excited about that makes you want to say, I will invest $5 in this, or if I'm in California, $20 for this movie. Yes, one movie ticket probably in California is $20 now. Just crazy to think. But anyway, that's probably the case. But you see things in previews. So, as a diehard, big-time Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan, which some of you already know, you can imagine my reaction when I heard that Michael Bay was producing a reboot of it. I will admit, I quivered a little bit in my feet, in my shoes, in my boots, because I know what to expect when it comes to Michael Bay movies. It's action, it's explosions, it's loud noises, not really good plot, not the best acting, so on and so forth. I could go on and on and on. But that's what Michael Bay, for the last so many years, has been known for. But with the preview, I said, oh, it actually doesn't look too bad. So, but I didn't raise my expectations and say, yes, I have high expectations for this movie. This movie is going to be better than the original. I just said, okay, let's see it. So I saw it, and it was exactly what I expected. It was action, explosions, cheesy acting, loud noises, and nothing even close to what the original 1990 classic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was. Which, again, I didn't have expectations that it was going to be that. I didn't have expectations that it was going to be better than the Turtles 3 movie. So if you're a Turtles fan at all, you know that in the trilogy, the third movie is absolutely dreadful. But again, I digress. It's things that I like, so I get a little excited about talking about it. But let's move on. Relationships nowadays. There's expectations. You go on a first date, and nowadays, you know, we're meeting people online sometimes because there's so many ridiculous dating websites. No offense to anybody that does online dating, but there's so many ways we do that now. We can just be behind a computer and type a good bio, type all our good stuff, and then when it comes time to meet the person, we may not say as much as our bio shows, or we may not be able to, you know, we type 140 words per minute, but when we're in person, we're saying, oh, hi. We're shy. We're not showing what our personality is behind the computer. So the expectation, if it goes good, right, has gone from, you know, the girl's like, oh, I hope I get his number, or blah, blah, blah. Now it's, let's see here, should I request him as a friend on Facebook? I don't know, let me look at his page first. And we can creepily stalk somebody before we actually make that next move, if you will, to pursue a relationship based off these social networking things. And yes, I know, I have Facebook, I have Instagram, I have Twitter, I have these tools of social media, but I'd like to think I'm not using them in the ways that many times get twisted when people are hiding behind a keyboard. But there's one relationship I do really want to hone in right now for what expectations that we have, and which we need to reevaluate those expectations sometimes, because some of us are going down the wrong direction, and before we end up completely in the wrong destination at the end of our lives, we need to stop, turn around, and go back to the way God has put us on. Now, again, you know my videos. I mean, you may be a new viewer, but you're finding out now that my videos have Christ-centered messages. So, with that in mind, here's where I talk about our expectations when it comes to God and God's expectations for us. Now, if you're a casual follower, or if you're a casual Christian, so I'm sorry if I feel like I'm offending anyone, but there's truth to this. If you're a Christian that just goes to church on Sunday, and that's really maybe all you do, you maybe here and there will read a verse of the day, possibly, chances are your expectations might be like this of God, that He's all-powerful, He should answer my prayers right away, today, right now, this second, tomorrow. If not, I'm done, I'm over it, I don't want this relationship anymore. How quick instant gratification is in this culture, in this era that we're in this generation. We're so quick to post things, to tell people things. And granted, yes, I've done that too, but it amazes me that 10 years ago, even 10 years ago, maybe even 12 years ago, you never knew how quick somebody was in a relationship. You never, had wedding pictures, and right away, the moment that somebody says I do, it's already on Facebook, it's already on Twitter, it's already posted on Instagram. You would have to wait till your photographer developed everything. You'd give another month, then you'd get the pictures, then you'd share it with family because you'd be flipping through, not scanning through and pushing a like button the moment it's posted. It's instant gratification. We assume that once we ask for something, we're going to get it back, or we're going to receive it right away, because in every other sense, it's at our fingertips to get what we want when we want. And that's the generation that we live in, and that's the generation that we need to get out of. You see, we think He's all-powerful, so it's as if we're the only ones talking to Him and saying, you hear me right now, Lord, I want this, I want it now, I want healing, I want my brother not to be sick, I want this aunt to be healed of this, I don't want cancer, I don't want this, where's my miracle? Just because your miracle didn't happen today doesn't mean it's not going to happen tomorrow. But here's the problem, we get so stuck in the idea that He's just going to say, okay, here you go. And the question is, let's flip it. What does He expect of us then? I know many of you are thinking, well, I'm going to church. He wants me perfect. He wants me flawless. He wants me sinless. He wants you to be like Him. What does He say in Matthew 22:37? If you have your Bibles with you, which I'm not saying all of you viewers, hold it by you, but again, right at our fingertips, we have apps for the Bible. We have, people that have the traditional style Bibles, the actual paper Bibles, which, again, I mentioned last month. I have a brand new one, thanks to my mother and father-in-law, but that's beside the point. We have it right at our fingertips. We have God at our fingertips in that sense. So, if you open up to the book of Matthew, when they ask Him, Teacher, what is the greatest commandment? This is what God calls us to do. This is what He expects of us. It's not it. So Matthew 22:37-39 says, And He said unto him, You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. This is the great and first commandment. And the second is like it. You shall love your neighbors as yourself. I'm not talking about just your next door neighbor, your roommate or whatever. It's everybody you interact with, you love as yourself. You are forgiven to forgive. You see where I'm going with that? You are forgiven so you can forgive. He doesn't expect us to have absolutely no troubles in our life, but our troubles need to be turned to Him in prayer at any second. It's opening that door to get closer to Him, not to have all our problems answered, all our problems solved. It's to turn to Him to show our problems that our God is bigger. You see, there was a quote that I read that just spoke volumes to me, that just helped me with this message. We mistake defiance for devotion, arguing with God instead of surrendering. We refuse to look at the evidence that clearly indicates when we are wrong. Again, we constantly think that we our God. We think we are in control of everything. So if we have a problem, we'll solve it. If we're sick, we'll take care of it. You know, we think we're the problem solvers. We are the problem. And I don't want to twist that and say, you know, we're a problem and like, you know, we're infecting society. But we live in a sin-filled world thanks to Adam, who was the absolute first problem we had. We live in a sin-filled world. So, with that, we need to know that we need Him. He doesn't need us, yet He sent His Son to die for us, to be our problem solver, to be our Almighty, to be greater than any of our wildest expectations. And there's another quote that I read that says, reflecting His peace is proof that you are right with God, because you are exhibiting the freedom to turn your mind to Him. If you are not right with God, you can never turn your mind to anywhere but yourself. You need to think of God first. And not open up like, if you're not answering this, if you are who you say you are, you will answer my prayer. And I will tell you right now, God answers every single prayer. But here's the thing we often get twisted. We expect it again right away. And in only the way that we would think is right. But that's not how God works. God answers in His timing, in His way, in His will. And His will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Greater is He that's living in me than is in the world. Now it's coming full circle to the song that I was dancing to in the beginning. But think of that. See, self-sufficiency, there's just so many quotes that I wanted to just share with you right now. Self-sufficiency is life's greatest barricade when it comes to intimacy with God. If we think we can do everything on our own, what's the need for God? What do we need God for? Francis Chan, who I'm reading a new book of his, a marriage one with Gina, said this: if life were stable, I'd never need God's help. Since it's not, I reach out for Him regularly. I am thankful for the unknowns and that I don't have control, because it makes me run to God. That, my friends, is what we need to do. We need to run to Him. What you just realized when I said run to Him, my camera just took a tumble and did a flip, and now we're back. But we need to run to Him. That's what we need to do, friends. We need to run to our Lord. He's there with open arms, exceeding every one of our expectations. And what we need to do is love Him with all our heart, with all our soul, and all our mind, and be obedient to His word. He didn't come to be served. He came to serve. So, though you go to church on Sunday, what you're doing Monday through Saturday is what counts. Open up His word. Turn to Him and not your own self-sufficiency. Friends, I'm telling you right now that you will have peace that surpasses all understanding. There is a future, and your hope will not be cut off. That's from Proverbs 18:23. So don't worry about what's happening right now. If your prayer is that, whatever your prayer is and you feel like He's not answering, He's doing His work. He's doing His will, in His way, in His timing. So trust in that timing. But don't think you can do it on your own. Don't pray just when you're at your wit's end and you've talked to a counselor, you've talked to a friend, you've talked to a teacher, and then finally like, you know what, I'll talk to God about it now. No. Go to God first. And as I said, He will exceed your expectations. Trust in that. Trust in Him. That's all for this time, ladies and gentlemen. This is all about me, motivation, innovation, inspiration for you and you and you. Again, I'm Tony Taylor, and I'm just speaking through him, for him. Because the work that I do doesn't matter to him. It's him through me. I hope you all have a blessed weekend. Happy Labor Day. And I'll see you next time.